Hi everybody, my name's Jake Johnston. This is Jake Showcase, and today I'm going to do something very, very different, and I hope you enjoy it. It's quite a bit different, but today what happened is that I was looking through some stuff and I found an old letter that I had written to somebody who I really admire, Warren Buffett. And I pulled it up. I haven't actually reread it yet, and I thought what I would do is read it. Now, this was dated several years ago. I wrote him a letter, and the date of it's Wednesday, November 18th, 2009. Wednesday, November 18th, 2009. And I thought what we'd do sort of as a first cut, first take, we'd just reread it together. So that was several years ago, but I don't know, just to let you get to know me and kind of how I was thinking and how I think. I've always had like a real love of the financial markets throughout my life, and one of my biggest heroes has been Buffett, and so I'm just curious what I wrote. That would be about 7 years ago. Alright, let's just see here. Okay, so Dear Warren E. Buffett, my name is Jake Johnston, and I have been a longtime fan of yours. By the way, I wrote it to Berkshire Hathaway. He's the chairman of the board. So let's just try again here. Dear Warren E. Buffett, my name is Jake Johnston, and I've been a longtime fan of yours. I've read your biography twice or three times in full, and have quoted from it several times. I also follow several of your annual reports and letters. I check brk.a almost daily. One of my favorite things you did is your original partnerships, where you would manage people's money and the first 4% return would be free, and you would get 25% of anything over and above that. If you made them nothing, you got nothing. This put your interest directly in line with their interest, and I think modern financial managers should do the same today. I have been fanatical about the stock market for several years. I am currently blank, and since early high school I have thought and executed several theories that I have both read about and personally thought of. At one point I won a stock market competition for Southwestern Ontario. I'm a dual American and Canadian citizen. I grew up in an Irish Catholic family where I was the oldest child in a family of 9. Dad, Mom, my brother, my 5 sisters, and me. My father was a maintenance man at the seminary who rode his bike to work, and my mother stayed at home. Second-hand clothes and Christmas food boxes from the Salvation Army were normal. We had no TV. I really wanted more. In grade 2, I sold the most Christmas accessories in a school contest in history via catalog by walking door to door for miles, way past my boundaries. I was working for a paper route at 11 and a meat shop bagger at 12. I would sell capfuls of Pepsi for a nickel each to neighborhood kids from a 2-liter bottle, and chips one at a time. For ambition and drive, I was in a league of my own from a very young age. I would spend evenings and Saturdays looking at business sections, pursuing the TSX, NYSE, and NASDAQ stocks with a pen and ruler, calculator, and notebook, looking for the best ones to buy. Literally thousands of hours thinking and dreaming of how my poor family of 9, who had so little, and just on a penny change on a market cap to such an extent that capturing that change would totally transform our lifestyle. I have all Dow Jones Industrial Average tickers and hundreds more memorized, and have for a long time. I grew up and currently live in London, Ontario, between Toronto and Detroit. My mother's American, and we would visit our relatives in Glenside, PA, right outside of Philadelphia, every summer. My first good job was at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter in Jenkintown, PA, when I was 20, where I worked for the fastest rising stockbroker at the firm as an assistant. I've had quite a numerous scholastic achievements. I was at or close to the top of practically all my high school classes which in collaboration with me writing several socially conscientious newspaper articles in the London Free Press, won me a social justice scholarship to King's College. I was pre-accepted into Canada's premier business school, the Ivy School of Business. My intention was to be the most elite of elite stockbrokers. However, that summer I worked at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter in Jenkintown. I became very disillusioned as I witnessed churning and the cold calling machine that is the modern stockbroker, and I thought, this is not wisdom, this is not what I thought it was. This began a string of decisions to challenge and argue with professors and eventually drop out of college, take menial jobs, and try to reckon both how the market works and why it was so different than what they said in school, and how I could effectively find a career and capitalize on it. While I was a dishwasher, I read Dr. Tom Stanley's The Millionaire Mind, which told me 90% of millionaires had a university degree and 52% had advanced degrees, and I was really fighting all the odds with abandonment of school. So I returned to school. This time, no questions, no challenges to the relevance of the curriculum, just get it done. And I did, graduating in economics at the top 3% of my University of Western Ontario class. I then moved back to Philadelphia and took a job for a small community bank, Progress Bank. Within years, this bank was bought by Fleet Bank and then Bank of America. I learned a lot. My philosophy that banking could be people-friendly seemed to bear fruit as I worked in a branch that had massive growth of 133% in Chestnut Hill, Pennsylvania. In 3 years I was there. I got promoted to trainer and placed in charge of implementing Model Bank of America policies and procedures for 8 branches, which I was ranked number 1 in the USA for Bank of America trainers out of 213 during the transition period. However, a comparable job was not available post-merger and I was let go. I worked for a few months at the University of Pennsylvania in the pathology department as the financial administrative coordinator. I did a great job for their microarray department and balanced their books after they were in tremendous hole. It was here that my father developed cancer back in Canada. I grew a tremendous amount of interest in cancer and read several books and interviewed several doctors. I learned there were very many unanswered questions. I was both surprised and disappointed. This was one of my top medical facilities in the world, as I got as many suggestions for treatment as the number of doctors I talked to. I returned to Canada, where I tried to duplicate a type of job that I had ended up with in working for TD Canada Trust via a temp agency. I excelled with my banking background and became a top performer. After a 6-month contract was up, I did not get hired on permanently. In the past couple of years, I have worked at various temp agencies and call centers, which is quite a big employer in London, but really have become depressed and disillusioned about the whole thing. I know I have outstanding talent and drive, and I have great ambitions to do stuff like help solve cancer equation, improve the education system, feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, and just generally help improve people's lives. My obsession with finance, the markets in particular, has always been it is a tool to be used to help improve people's lives. Money is the game to be mastered and won in order to help improve people's lives. Which brings me to the point of this letter. I heard you say on CNBC at Columbia that you would give $100,000 to any student in the room for 10% of that person's future income. I would like to take you up on that offer, with a maximum return to be set at, say, at about $2 million. My personal goal has always been to have 200 to 300 million net worth. I am in debt to several institutions and way behind and restricted from many positions because of that. This money would be used to pay off these debts off. I would then be capable of re-entering a much higher paying position. Right now I'm restricted to a very low wage positions with no chance of overcoming my debts. I need help, and you have the capacity to be that help. Please contact me if interested. You seem, from all I know about you, to be a very enlightened person. I would love to talk or meet with you. I have included my resume. Sincerely, Jake Johnston. Well, there you go, folks. That was my letter to a hero of mine, Warren Buffett. And I don't know, that's as raw. I'm sorry for the reading, but as you can see, it was fresh and raw. I haven't read that for seven years, so there you go. I hope that you enjoyed that insight into me and into how I think a bit about my history and people who I admire and what I think, that's me. Alright, I hope you like that. Don't forget to like my video below, subscribe to my channel up above. I do my videos on Wednesdays, and I hope you have a wonderful day.